Hello, it's BJ Martin here with another HaloLife podcast. Today's themed story is: will Albert Pujols reach 700 career home runs? Now, if you weren't living under a rock this week and you're an Angels fan, you probably heard the news earlier this week when his wife, Deidre Pujols, put a Instagram message out there wishing her husband a great final season of his contract with the Angels. She went into how much he sacrificed, what a great career it's been, what a legend he is. And media, Twitter folks, social media folks went berserk with that information. And all of a sudden you could see the Albert Pujols is retiring. Albert's last season. 2021 is it for Albert Pujols. Stories going everywhere. And Deidre quickly edited that Instagram post. All caps in the top said something to the effect of, "This is not an official retirement statement from Albert Pujols. I'm just wishing him the best as he goes into this final season of his contract with the Angels." So obviously Albert has not commented on this. He's stayed away from this. He's been very quiet on the subject with regards to whether he's going to retire at the end of this contract with the Angels. I understand why. A couple things. 700 home runs. I think, although Albert, I don't think he's officially made a statement saying that he'd like to do that. Albert always has this approach of it's all about winning, going out for the team, and playing for the team. But I sense that he appreciates the significance of reaching these milestones, whether that was 500, 600, 660 last year. That means something to Albert. I think 700 would be extraordinary, and I think he understands the significance of that number. You can list three guys that have reached that: Ruth, Aaron, and Bonds. Reaching that, you are on the Mount Rushmore of home run hitters. You become the fourth, and Albert would really like to do that. Now, he's going to hit some other milestones. He's about, I think, less than 90 hits away from passing Paul Molitor and getting in the top 10 in the all-time hits list. I think he's about 30 or so extra base hits away from passing the legendary Cardinal and friend, late friend of Albert Pujols, Stan the Man Musial. To get the third all-time in extra base hits would be extraordinary. I think those two things could happen this year. They should. If he's healthy, he should get enough at-bats, plate appearances, and hit enough extra base hits and base hits to reach those marks. But the 700 home runs is a little more tricky. He's 38 home runs shy, sitting at 662 for his career. And he entered his age 40 season last year. And at that point, of course, he was 44 home runs shy of the mark. And needing 44 home runs to reach that after age of 40. So I did a little research. You looked that up. If you want to look at who has actually hit as 40 or more home runs after their 40th birthday, you can count the names on your two hands. It's an elite, small list of players. It starts with legendary third baseman Greg Nettles, former Angel after 40, Raul Ibanez. He hit two of those home runs after 40 with the Angels. Of course, Henry Aaron is on this list. He hit 42 of his 744 after his 40th birthday. Ted Williams, Stan the Man Musial, we just mentioned. Carl Yastrzemski, Dave Winfield, Darrell Evans, Carlton Fisk, and Barry Bonds hit 79 home runs after the age of 40. Of course, like Aaron, he's in that 700 class. So he got to 700 after 40 as well. Can Pujols do it? Yes, I think he can. I think Albert Pujols can do it. But a few things are going to have to happen. He's got to get the ABs. He's got to get the at-bats. That's going to be a challenge this season. Could be a challenge this season for two reasons. He's got two guys that potentially are going to be eating at-bats away from Albert. Jared Walsh, the young first baseman, burst on the scene in the truncated season last year. And if he performs anywhere close to what he did last year, he's going to be getting the bulk of at-bats at first base. There's just no doubt. Madden is going to put him out there for his run production. Shohei Ohtani, when he's not pitching, he's a DH. He's not playing in the field. At least he hasn't yet. I wouldn't discount or put it past Joe Madden to find a place for him in the field. I'd just be really surprised if that happens in a year when he's also counting on him to go out there and be a force in the starting rotation. So, like we saw in 2018, I would not be surprised if during the weeks that Ohtani is pitching, that he is scaling back somewhat on plate appearances. He may get 2 or 3 days off a week. So that would be a situation where you could get Albert in the lineup with Walsh in place of Shohei at the DH. I think there'll be days where Walsh needs a break too, and you'll get Albert would be the logical first baseman. So I think he's gonna get 300 at bats. He'll get 300 to 400 at bats this year. I don't think that'll be a problem. I think he can get the 80 something hits he needs to get to the top 10 in hits. I think he can get the 30 plus extra base hits that he'll get the third place all time. I just think it's going to be real difficult for him to hit 38 home runs. I just don't see that happening. The last time he hit 38 or more home runs was with the Angels. His age 35 season, he hit 40. That was the most he hit in the season with the Angels. And that was at age 35. As I mentioned, there's that short list of guys who've hit home runs after 40. Bonds, Fisk, Evans, the only 3 that have hit more than 60 during that time. Pujols needed 44 after his 40th birthday. He needs 38 still. So I don't think he's going to do it this season. However, if in this 300 to 400 at-bats this year, Albert does crank out 20 to 25 home runs, that would leave him, somewhere from the 15 to 20 home runs shy of the mark. If he finds his way about 15 home runs away from 700 in that 685 area at the end of the season, 685 to 690, I think Albert's going to want to try to find a contract for 2022. I think the Angels will have to dig deep on this one. There's a lot for them to consider bringing Albert back, especially with young players like Walsh, as I mentioned. You have an Upton in the last year of his contract with Brandon Marsh and Joe Adell joining Mike Trout in the outfield probably by the end of this year, pushing Upton potentially to DH. It may be very difficult for the Angels to find a place for Albert on their roster for next year. But there's a new CBA. The players want the DH. Major League Baseball fans want the designated hitter universal. And there's a chance that will be a part of the next CBA, which should go into effect for next year. So if that happens, the National League would have a designated hitter. How fitting would it be for the St. Louis Cardinals to bring back Albert Pujols for the 2022 season, his swan song season, and let him finish out his career as a St. Louis Cardinal? And it's the team he's going to go into the Hall of Fame as on the plaque 5 years after he does play his final game. And I think that there's a possibility that Albert could hit his 700th home run in 2022. As an Angel fan, I would love to see it happen this year, because that would mean he hit 38 home runs. that would be an extraordinarily good sign for the Angels if he was in there and producing at that level. I think that's unlikely. His overall play has been trending at a level to where 38 home runs would be quite remarkable. But I don't discount him reaching the mark. I think it's going to be another season, though. It's going to take a 22nd year in his career to reach that mark. And you know what? That's okay. Great players can do that. I just read through the list of 10 guys who hit their home runs late in their career, and Dave Winfield, Hank Aaron, those guys weren't the same players after 40 that they were in the prime of their career, and just like Albert's not. And it's okay. And I'm not going to take anything away from Aaron getting the 744, hitting 42 of those after 40, and maybe not having, the 30 to 40 home run seasons that he did. And so I think Albert can do it. Answer the question, will Albert reach 700? Maybe. I think it'll take 2 more seasons to do it, but I don't put anything past one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time. And I wish and hope that Albert Pujols is the 4th member of the 700 Home Run Club. That's it for this edition of HaloLife Podcast. Again, thank you for joining me for this one. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed it, give me a like button. It just makes me know that you liked it and that you enjoy this content. Feel free to subscribe. We're going to continue to add new content to this channel. If you're listening to the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, or one of the other podcast networks, thank you for listening. Please share with your Angels friends and family. It's a grassroots effort, this deal. We're all about future, current, and past Angels, and we appreciate you supporting HaloLife Podcast. Again, you can read my stuff over at angelsnation.com as well as primetimesportstalk.com. That's it for now. Don't forget, until next time, live your life 9 innings at a time. We'll see you.